The Muslim festival Eid al-Adha gets underway across the world. Military officials in Nigeria said that all vehicles would be banned throughout Borno State. This comes after two separate bomb blasts killed at least 170 people in Maiduguri and more than 20 people in Monguno. That's in the northeastern parts of Nigeria. The rise in conflicts have caused around 2.5 million people to become displaced as families flee the country. But the threat or scarcity of resources and the spread of illnesses in neighbouring Cameroon, Niger and the Lake Chad region, where they have sought refuge remains a concern as they become an additional burden on already vulnerable communities. Their lives now sit in the hands of humanitarian assistance. Now joining us on Skype from Geneva in Switzerland is the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, Senior Communications Officer for North, West and Central Africa, Leo Dobbs. Good morning, Leo. Thanks for talking to us.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Leo, just give us a quick update. What is the situation on the ground right now in the sort of Lake Chad region as more and more people seem to be fleeing conflict in the northeast of Nigeria?
Well, the Lake Chad region has effectively become a war zone. It's the front line, which is quite unusual, really, because we're trying to help people in that front line. And it's the militaries of the countries that border the Lake Chad have been trying to move people out of those areas where they live, where they earn their livelihood, and move them to camps or to live with families in neighbouring regions, and this has disrupted the economy, disrupted their lives, and raised fears of more violence to come when the military take on the militants.
Leo, tell us about the UNHCR's reaction to the crisis there and the sort of camps that you guys have been setting up in Nigeria and Lake Chad and around.
Well, the Nigeria operation is one of our biggest in Africa, and we've been working there on this crisis since 2013, and we've been in Nigeria, where there are what we call internally displaced people, more than 2 million. We have been providing the lead in protection efforts and also in shelter and camp management efforts, and we've been helping provide other aid. In the neighbouring countries, we've been helping refugees, Nigerians who've crossed into those countries to seek shelter, and we are helping to run 4 camps in those in Niger, Cameroon and Chad, which provide shelter for more than 100,000 people. And we provide everything there, education, access to medical help, food, shelter. But there are problems with providing enough health care. Water, for example, in Cameroon, at the camp that we're helping to run there, it's difficult to get water, and there are many problems, yes, but at least these people are getting shelter.
Tell us quickly about the security situation, and with that sort of backdrop, it must be quite difficult to get food and water and other medical supplies and the like there. We've got reports of food shortages there. Is that accurate?
Well, I mean, the part of it is linked to the whole issue of these are countries that are amongst the poorest in Africa. I mean, Cameroon, Chad, and Niger. And the Lake Chad was a socio-economic hub that provided there was trade, big trade, people, agriculture, many fishermen. Their lives have been disrupted, and the flow of food and goods has also been disrupted. So this is causing a lot of hardship. And also the attempts of organizations such as ourselves have been hampered by a lack of funding. For our operations and the Nigeria situation, We've so far, our appeals for funding have been 40% successful. So that's a big shortage there. So it's difficult. You have to prioritise aid, and it's not, we're not the only ones facing this. People like the World Food Programme, UNICEF, World Health Organization. So it's difficult under those conditions, when we're all competing to help. Everyone wants to help, but also there's a certain onus on the governments themselves to provide help, and they are doing so, to be fair.
Well, Leo, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. That's Leo Dobbs. He's the UNHCR Senior Communications Officer for Northwest and Central Africa. Came to us via Skype from Geneva in Switzerland, giving us an update on the escalating situation around Lake Chad, what is happening there. Of course, millions of people have been displaced around the entire Lake Chad region into northeastern Nigeria, Cameroon and the like. It's an escalating humanitarian crisis